It's a baffling scenario for any parent. You watch your child clear their plate night after night, taking in perfectly healthy meals, yet they aren't gaining a single ounce, and they constantly complain that their stomach hurts. If the right amount of calories and vitamins are going in, but physical development is completely stalled, those biological building blocks have to be going somewhere. The energy is being actively diverted. The answer often lies hidden inside the digestive tract. Intestinal parasitic infections, commonly known as worms, act as silent residents, intercepting the nutrients your child is consuming. These parasites reside in the gut and feed directly on the proteins and minerals intended for the child's development. Every meal the child eats becomes a fuel source for the infection, effectively starving the host body from the inside out. To understand how these parasites steal nutrients, we have to look at how they break in. Usually, they slip past external defenses through contaminated drinking water, improperly washed fruits and vegetables, or a child putting unwashed fingers into their mouth. The threat begins at an entirely invisible scale. This image shows the microscopic egg of the roundworm, Ascaris lumbricoides. Millions of these can sit undetected in everyday environments, from agricultural soil to the dirt at a local playground. Some species bypass the mouth entirely. Hookworms, for instance, don't need to be swallowed. When a child walks barefoot through contaminated dirt, the larvae can burrow directly through intact skin and enter the bloodstream. When communities lack basic sanitation and reliable hygiene practices, these pathways act like unlocked doors, giving microscopic invaders an open route straight into a child's vulnerable system. Once inside, the parasites secure their position. This is the head of a hookworm under a microscope. Using those sharp, hook-like structures, the worm actively latches onto the intestinal lining to anchor itself against the digestive flow. Safely attached, worms compete with the host, intercepting vitamins and blocking iron absorption before it enters the bloodstream. By consuming blood and blocking iron, they trigger chronic anemia. Without oxygen-carrying iron, the brain struggles, causing poor concentration and memory gaps. The clinical signs we see on the outside, the chronic fatigue, the failure to gain weight, and severe iron deficiency, these are the visible signals that the body's internal resources are being rapidly and completely depleted. There is a persistent cultural myth that if a child grinds their teeth in their sleep, they definitely have worms. Scientifically, there is zero direct link between bruxism and parasitic infections. To spot a real infestation, you need to look for the actual clinical red flags. Reliable signs include recurrent abdominal pain, intense anal itching, and unexplained bouts of nausea. Discarding old myths and paying attention to these documented symptoms is the first step towards getting a child the precise medical intervention they need. Pediatricians rely on straightforward diagnostic tools to find the culprits. A basic stool examination can detect microscopic parasite eggs, while a routine blood test can reveal the resulting anemia or highly elevated immune cells called eosinophils. Once confirmed, the eviction process is incredibly effective. A short course of safe, targeted anti-parasitic medications, such as albendazole, rapidly kills the worms and clears the infestation from the gut. This medical protocol is so successful and easy to scale that entire countries organize massive public health initiatives, distributing these medicines in schools to deworm millions of children simultaneously. Through simple testing and highly targeted drugs, modern medicine has turned what used to be a devastating, lifelong developmental roadblock into a quickly solvable, temporary problem. But there is a catch. The medication kills the worms inside the body today, but it offers zero biological protection for tomorrow. If the surrounding environment remains contaminated, a child will simply ingest new eggs and the cycle will restart. The only long-term cure is an invisible shield built out of daily habits. Consistently washing hands with soap before meals, drinking purified water, keeping fingernails scrubbed short, and strictly wearing shoes outside physically blocks the parasites from re-entering. On a community level, it requires building and using proper sanitation facilities. Safely containing human waste ensures that parasite eggs never reach the soil, cutting off the transmission cycle at its source. By pairing swift medical deworming with the daily armor of strict hygiene, parents can permanently lock out these silent thieves, ensuring their children keep every nutrient they eat to grow, learn, and thrive.